ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and the Prime Minister of Israel.
Benjamin Netanyahu has arrived in Washington. But after Flynn's resignation, the press corps are hungry to question Trump on his relationship with Russia.
Welcoming my friend, Prime Minister.
The protocol of a joint press conference is that 4 journalists are allowed to ask questions.
Again, thank you.
But it's the leaders who decide which journalists to call on.
We'll take a couple of questions. David Brody, that's Christian Broadcasting. David?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Katie from Town Hall. Where's Katie? Right there. Katie?
Thank you, Mr. President.
For the second time this week, Trump ignores the major networks. Instead, he selects questions from 2 small conservative news outlets. Neither asked directly about his links with Russia.
President, are you going to answer any questions about your associates' contacts with the Russians during the campaign, sir?
Mr. President, can you guarantee that nobody on your campaign had any contacts with the Russians? Mr. President, any questions on Russia? Mr. President.
The idea that 4 reporters, 2 domestic and 2 foreign, in 2 events, so 8 total questioners, and no direct questions about the biggest news story, by far the biggest news story of the week, is insane.
We've got a huge story going on right now on the Russians. We've got a blockbuster front-page story in the New York Times alleging contacts between the Trump campaign and the Russian government, Russian intelligence, and the issue doesn't come up in a press conference because he's calling on friendly news outlets. I mean, it's really amazing. They had to work very hard to find, to be able to call on 2 reporters who would not ask that question. I mean, that takes some doing. I wanted to, jump up and say, wait a minute, you fired him. Why did you fire him? No explanation whatsoever.
While the major networks feel ignored, this is an opportunity for 23-year-old Trey Yingst, White House correspondent for the newly formed conservative outlet, One American News.
Now, I asked the president what he thought about that story that came out in the New York Times. I asked the president about that phone call that
is such a unique opportunity for a young journalist to have. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's something that I'm extremely excited about. I think it gives other outlets and other viewers and other readers an opportunity to feel like they're connected to this White House as well.
Bringing new people in is great. It is helpful. These people represent audiences that have real readers and listeners and viewers. What we don't want is for any administration to either handpick and get the questioners that they think are best to help put out their message instead of going out here and defending their policies every day.
I don't think people realize how small this place is, how small the White House is.
I know. This is essentially our home, and it's been our home for a very long time. This used to be Franklin Roosevelt's swimming pool.
I mean, it's not very comfortable here, right? There are mice in this building. My cell phone doesn't work at my desk.
You're there at 4 a.m., you're not sleeping for a week.
It's a vibrant, dynamic, a little strange place to be right now.
It's open press. I would get here now because we're lining up.
We're going to get a pool call soon.
Press conference, 12:30 East Room, open press, the president.
Wow. The Russia crisis is threatening to engulf the White House. At the last minute, Sean Spicer's daily briefing is cancelled, and Trump announces his first solo press conference as President of the United States.
I got a call. He's having a press conference. Come to the White House.
When I saw the note that there was going to be a press conference in an hour, I raced over.
Just another example of never a dull moment.
So chaotic. Never have seen such short notice for a press conference. I had a sense that it was going to be a pretty contentious affair.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
God bless America, and let's take some questions. Yes, John.
I just want to get you to clarify because it's a very important point. Can you say definitively that nobody on your campaign had any contacts with the Russians?
When Trump has a story that he doesn't like, he is very good at diverting.
Russia is fake news. This is fake news put out by the media. The false, horrible, fake reporting makes it much harder to make a deal with Russia.
It was an hour and 17 minutes where the President of the United States repeatedly insulted reporters to our faces, and the audience is being told not to trust us.